Alright, good morning, guys. It is November 17th, and I'm kind of making a little update video for you guys. It's been a pretty eventful, gun season, rifle season so far. I have tagged my doe tag for the season, and I've actually filled my bow tag also. So, second day of gun season, we were out cruising around, hadn't really seen many deer, and we ended up spotting what we could see at the time was 6 deer walking down this drainage. We got out, got set up down the drainage a little ways. We didn't know if there was bucks in there. We could just see deer walking through it, making their way from the west to the east, and we had good wind for that, so we hopped out, made our way down to the drainage in anticipation for them to walk right by us. Ended up getting to us. They were about 150 yards out, and all there was does in this group of deer. I ended up shooting one of the does, filling my tag with that. Throughout the rest of the time that my son was able to take or have off from school, we only seen a couple of bucks. It was really warm out. Actually, we had 2 days where it was 0 degrees. We didn't even see a deer during those days, which I kind of figured there would be, but we ended up not seeing any deer those days. He went back to school, and on the 13th, I decided I was going to go bow hunting. It was southeast wind that day, so the only blind that I'm able to sit in with that wind is the blind that you guys seen me move on my last video out to the field. So I got out there, got up into the blind, and decided just to sit back and relax. Figured I'd enjoy myself a little bit. It'd been quite a bit of walking and everything with my son, and I just kind of wanted to sit back, relax, and enjoy the view. Throughout the night, I actually got there at, I think it was about a little after 4. Throughout the evening, I started seeing does popping around out in the stuff to the north of me, and at that point I really didn't even set up my camera. I just kind of sat back and was enjoying myself watching them walk around and everything else. They were out there quite a ways, and it was about 4:45. I watched a deer get up out of his bed along the edge of a slough. He was to the northeast of me, and I went into my backpack to go get my binoculars. At that point, realized that I had left my binoculars in my pickup, so wasn't really able to see what kind of deer he was. I knew it was a buck. I could see it, kind of his horns glistening in the sun, so I knew he was a buck. But he was a long ways out. It was already getting pretty late. It was about 4:45, and he was milling around right in that area. I kind of figured he'd just stay in that area. So I didn't get the camera, set up or anything. After about 10 minutes of him milling around, he started moving to the south and to the west towards me, kind of following that drainage up to me. He stopped at the slough off to the east of me, about 400 yards, was drinking some water out of there. And at this point, I kind of got my bow ready. I hadn't even set up my bow or anything. Got my bow ready, and I actually bought one of them deals that mounts to your bow, and you can put your phone to it. So I got that set up on there. Was in the process of getting ready to start getting my camera set up, and he was moving his way quickly towards me at this point. So I left the camera down. I had my phone deal set up, so I figured I'd just record with that, being being as it was, he was making his way quickly towards me. So I got everything set up, got my rangefinder out, and at this point he was closing the distance quickly. I got the rangefinder on him, ranged it at 43 yards, got my pin set to 43. He got into my shooting lane. I pulled back, and I opted to not stop him at that point. He was walking through some pretty tall grass, and I figured if I had stopped him, he was going to duck when I went to go shoot, and if he did that, I was going to have to aim low into that grass in anticipation for that, which I would have been shooting into that grass. So I opted to not stop him. Figured I would aim a little bit forward so that he could walk into it. Got drawn, got my pin on him, and when I released, he must have taken a step just as I released, and I hit him a little bit far back, but when I hit him, when it impacted him, I mean, it was instant blood, so I knew I hit something good. Kind of got my stuff all set up, realized that I either hit just picture on my phone, but either way it didn't record. Got my bow, got down, found my arrow. There was a good blood trail right there. I followed it about 50, 60 yards. I knew he went further than that because I was able to watch him run about, well, actually he didn't run. He ran about 50 yards and then he stopped, kind of stood there. I could see blood coming out of him. I could see that he was hit pretty good, but it was just too far back. So I opted to back out, got my pickup, called my dad up, and we decided that we were going to go out there with a flashlight, try and look for him. I drove into town, we got a flashlight, made our way back out there. At this point it had been about, hour and a half since I'd shot him. And we got on the blood trail right away, followed it, went about 100 yards, and the blood actually stopped right there. So we opted to back out again, decided to wait till morning. Now in this area, on my cameras, I have seen a lot of coyotes. I really didn't want to leave this deer overnight, but I felt like if we tried to push it any further, we were going to bump him out of his bed, and we were never going to find this deer. So got up in the morning, got my son ready, got my daughter ready, and we made our way out there. Got on the blood trail, got to where my dad and I had stopped, and the blood just pretty much went to drops. Went about 50 yards following the little drops through the grass, and he had stopped right there, started pouring blood again, took off, and it was actually a pretty heavy trail after that. I was pretty surprised he made it as far as he did, but made it about another 100 yards, and blood went back down to nothing. He was going straight north, kind of veered to the east, and was actually down to hands and knees walking through the grass, or crawling through the grass, following a blood trail. Got there, went about 50 yards, and the deer had stopped, started pouring blood again, and made his way another 40, 50 yards, and then it went down to no blood at all. So we started circling around, didn't really see any blood after that. And there's a gate off to the east. I walked through that, and there was a bunch of hair there. So I kind of figured at that point I knew what I was going to walk up onto if we found this deer. Started doing circles out in the grass. I grabbed my daughter, and we were kind of doing circles, and that's when I noticed where it looked like there was a bunch of grass laid over about 30 yards ahead of me, walked up to it, and I ended up finding my deer. Unfortunately, the coyotes made it to him before we did. When I walked up to him, he was pretty much a head with a rib cage laying there. They completely destroyed that deer all in one night. There wasn't a single piece of meat on that deer. So it's kind of an unfortunate way of finding them. I wish we could have found them. I wish I would have made a better shot on them, and I would have found them right away that night, but it's kind of just the way it went. It was good that I recovered the deer. I made some good memories finding the deer with my son and my daughter. They got to be with me. My daughter was excited that she got to be with and track this deer. That's all she talked about for a day. So that was pretty fun being with them, getting to make those memories. Got the deer out of there, got him tagged, got him out of there. I'll show you guys kind of a video. I'll blur out the rib cage and all that stuff, but I was a little bit upset at that point when I walked up there, but ended up getting the deer. Got out hunting with my son that whole weekend. We ended up seeing 5 bucks Sunday morning. I knew that we were going to see some good movement that morning. I had a lot of deer chasing does on the cameras, so I figured we were going to see a lot of deer. He ended up hitting a really good buck. I thought it was a good hit, made a good impact noise. Deer got spun around. He actually spun dang near 3/4 of the way around. Kind of started wobbling back and forth. I thought he was going to drop right there. Kind of caught his bearings. Took off running over the top of a coulee and with his tail down. And we did what we could. We walked. We went all the way down that coulee. I figured if he was hurt that bad, he would only go down. We followed him all the way down the coulee, or followed the coulee all the way down, looked through every bit of brush we could, zigzagged through the tall grass, pretty much covered every bit we could, and then we turned around. Even though I didn't figure he would, I went all the way up the coulee, zigzagging back and forth, going through every bit of brush we could, and we never did recover that deer. Hopefully he's still alive. I was really hoping we would get this deer. He would beat any deer I've shot. It was probably in the high 160s, I would guess. But hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he survived it. Hopefully it wasn't a vital shot or something. But usually with the 300 Weatherby, they don't make her too far. But never did find that deer. We searched everywhere for hours for this deer. Never found him. Ended up seeing about 6 deer yesterday, but never got, anything that he could shoot at. So that's kind of the end of everything that has happened so far. He still has one more weekend. Hopefully we can make it happen. He still has his rifle tag and his bow tag, so I'm the cameraman. Hopefully I can make better video than what I've made so far. But yeah, that'll be the end of the video. I'll kind of show you guys some videos, some pictures of the deer I shot with my bow. Just kind of a little bit here and there of what we've got going on. I did take a little bit of video here and there. So anyways, that'll be the end of this video. I'll let you guys go. Hopefully you guys kind of enjoy it. It's not real action packed, but hopefully you guys enjoy this video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I found my deer from last night, and I hit him a little far back. I didn't get it on camera, but I hit him at about 520. We went in and looked for him, and I knew I hit him quite a ways back, but anyways, I decided to back out and leave him overnight. And I was pretty weary about doing it because I figured that he would get eaten up by coyotes. And here's what I came to. In one night, they completely destroyed him. So we'll get a tag on her, and unfortunately that's what he looks like this morning. No meat off of him. So, all right. All right, how's it going, guys? It is time for a little bit of a post-rifle season talk. I'd like to report that Connor was successful in filling his rifle tag this year, and I'll give a little bit of story on how that went for him. I actually got back from my Wyoming hunt, did a mountain lion hunt there, headed back, and we got up that morning, decided to go out. I'd been seeing a lot of activity on the cameras, bucks chasing does and everything, so I kind of figured it was going to be a good morning. We headed out, got there nice and early, weren't seeing a whole lot of deer right away, and my brother ended up calling us, telling us he was watching 2 bucks chasing does out in a field. Luckily, we were only about maybe 2 miles away from where he was sitting at, so it didn't take us too long to get over there. These bucks were about 500-600 yards out chasing 2 does, and I ain't gonna lie to you guys, we didn't have a whole lot of time. I didn't know if these bucks were gonna make their way out of that area. The does were gonna trail them away. We grabbed the rifle, got out of the pickup, and started making our way down this tree line. I didn't grab the cameras, I didn't even grab my phone, nothing, just made sure he had his rifle and his tag with. So this wasn't recorded. I do have pictures of them, but anyways, they're about 500-600 yards out. We got down in a dip, started making our way down this tree line, got about 400 to 500 yards down it, cut through the tree line, got ourselves kind of tucked up against the trees, but at the same time able to see this buck. He was about 100 yards away from where we had gotten through the trees, got set up, got him on some sticks, got him leveled out and everything, and he ended up missing the first shot with him. Second shot, I think he got a little bit stayed out. We kind of made a quick dash down this tree line, so he was a little bit tired from it, but second shot, got leveled out. This deer was so not willing to move. He was with this doe. He had this doe bedded in that tree row by the time we made it down there. He wasn't leaving for nothing. That first shot didn't even phase him. So we got him steadied out, got him, right on the target, and he ended up making a perfect shot, dropped that deer in its tracks, and I got some pictures for you guys and everything. He ended up catching the scope to the forehead. Got a little video with him with a ice pack on his head, but he was shooting a 300, so did jump a little bit at him, but he made a perfect shot, got the deer, and I'm pretty proud of him for getting his second deer with a rifle. It's actually his biggest deer that he's gotten so far. So anyways, that's kind of how that went. He still has a bow tag for this year. I do have to head to work here tomorrow, so I won't be able to take him out right now. He's going to try and make a trip on his own up there, but with his grandpa. Hopefully he can get one going there. We haven't been seeing a whole lot of big buck activity on the cameras. It seems like as we've been rifle hunting, we've been seeing a lot of the bigger bucks that we had on camera right around the area, but not on our land. Last year, kind of the same thing happened. Right after the rut was done, they made their way back onto ours and stayed there all the way till January. So hopefully that happens and he can arrow himself a good one with his bow, but that'll be the end of this video, I'll show you guys some pictures of his deer and everything. He's pretty proud of it. He's getting a nice Euro mount of it done. So anyways, that's the end of this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. I should be getting a video out of my Wyoming mountain lion hunt here after this one, probably 2 weeks after it, because I'll be at work. But that was an adventure, but I'll leave it at that for that one. And you guys have a good one. Connor getting domed by the old scope. Oh man. Oh shoot. Well, we went out this morning, Connor did her. Got her done.